Daredevil is the 13-episode-long Netflix show that's going to start up the Marvel Cinematic Netflix build-up to the Defenders with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Daredevil. Now, this season of Daredevil is basically showing how Nelson and Murdock, attorneys at law, kind of started. Foggy Nelson and Matt Murdock are really good friends. They love each other so much ever since they met in college, and they started up this business to become lawyers and make lots of money. But Matt Murdock, who is blind, has a secret. He's Daredevil. And this season shows how the Kingpin, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, whose actual name, they never call him Kingpin, they call him Wilson Fisk, just basically showing how Fisk is rising up to power and how Daredevil wants to stop him. Oh, I was really excited for this show because I was hoping that it was going to be better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, and I was right. And it's definitely way better than that atrocity with Ben Affleck. First off, the guy who actually plays Daredevil is really good and way better than Ben Affleck! And his friend Foggy Nelson also does a great job. Those two have a great chemistry with each other that I think was really, really well directed by the 13 directors that directed all 13 episodes. Whoops. There's this female character, Karen Page, who was in the first episode, and at first I was like, is she gonna be like the tag-along one? Like, she's not really necessary. And it seemed like that at first, but she actually had more of a likability to her, and some stuff goes down in the later episodes that I was like, okay, this is cool. Now, Vincent D'Onofrio, he plays Fisk, the Kingpin, and at first his character was kind of like a lovesick puppy to me. Like, it's all for love or something. I was like, oh man, not this. But you know what? It actually kind of progressed his character, especially after learning about what happened to him as a child. And after hearing all these things that have happened to Kingpin, especially with something that happens when he's a grown-up, not in his past, when in the present moment, you actually feel kind of sad for the guy. I know he's the villain, but you feel kind of sad for him. I mean, yeah, he's killed lots of people, and there's one moment when he's strangling someone and you see his face like up in the camera, and that's really scary. You can't help but feel bad for him because he's actually kind of pathetic. Strong and will kill you, but kind of pathetic. And as I said, the woman he falls in love with in the show, at first I just thought she's only in here because he needs someone to love and stuff, yada yada yada. And she was okay. She wasn't a standout character like Karen Page turned out to be, and she wasn't a terrible character, but, you know, she was fine. The action scenes in this show, they're really good. Like, there is some stuff that happens that you would not see in a Marvel film, because the Marvel movie's like, yeah, we're so awesome, we're a bit dark, but we're really awesome, yeah! Catchphrases PG-13! And this is kind of on the verge of R, I guess? If this were a movie, it might be on the verge of R. I'm not sure what the MPAA would say about this, but it might be R. They didn't give it a rating on Netflix. At least that's not what my iPad has told me. It's not actually in my hand right now. Oops. Especially one moment in particular in the show where Kingpin just lets loose on one guy involving a car door. Yeah. And Daredevil is not the perfect, oh, I got a few scratches, but I will stand up again and fight for what's right, wink. He actually gets his butt handed to him on several occasions. There's moments where he needs stitches by his friend Claire Temple, who I forgot to mention. Rosario Dawson plays Claire Temple, and she's also really good. And it gives you more of a realism to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like in other movies, it's like, oh, this is so much fun, you wouldn't expect some things to happen like a death. Not only because of how fun it is, but also because they've brought back people from the dead, so why would anyone stay dead? Marvel. We actually felt some real tension during the fight scenes because you've seen Daredevil, he's not his A game, like he can hit everyone and barely get a punch. Like I mentioned, Claire Temple has to give him stitches. There's one fight in like episode 9, I think, where it was brutal. Like, brutal. My only flaws with the show is that there is one episode in particular where I think it was kind of like the weakest one in there. Like, the others were like so great, and this episode was great too. It's just, compared to the others, it was just lacking something that the other episodes had. And let's just say there are some moments, some some moments of cheesy dialogue. Marvel, after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter have to put in some cheesy dialogue somewhere, but they handled it better in this show than those two other shows. Those are my only flaws with the show, because it is excellent. Story doesn't feel overly dragged on, it feels right, it feels so good, and I'm gonna give Daredevil an A-. I think if they just touched up on some of that dialogue, and maybe given that 1 week episode a bit more boost, I'd give this an A+. But you know what? The show's great. I can't wait for AKA Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist now, and the Defenders. Good job, Marvel and Netflix. You done good. So what did you think of the Daredevil Netflix show? Leave it in the comments below. Also, I will be reviewing the Ant-Man trailer. So that's cool. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.